40 hours a week and then wondering why they have no energy to do anything else. If you are not into your kids conforming.
If you're not into your kids conforming. Conforming to what, pray tell? The curriculum of you always being attached to your child and giving them no individuality whatsoever, which once again is often gained by a kid going to school and not being attached to their parents, because their parents don't often go to school with them, and then they make a bunch of friends with people their own age and are supervised by adults whose job it is to teach them like a broad curriculum of a variety of interests, so that maybe the kid latches onto one of them and goes on to like go to college for a specific thing that they learned about earlier on in their life. Like they got really interested in math when they were younger, and then eventually because of that they become like an engineer that builds the next large hadron collider. Whereas like if they were just homeschooled, who knows where they would end up with this limited ass curriculum of literally whatever they want. Like you're not really talking about homeschooling at this point. At this point I feel like this is a psyop to make homeschooling look worse, which frankly I'm in favor of, because I am very anti-homeschool, because like this is actually insane. This is a perfect encapsulation of why homeschooling is bad. I feel like the biggest reason why homeschooling is bad is because children need to be around other children, generally speaking, and socialize. It seems to be necessary for their social development in such a way that to withhold it is borderline abusive. Now, of course, you can homeschool and also like enroll your kid in a bunch of extracurricular things, but like generally speaking, also I think most parents probably don't have what it takes to be a parent and a teacher at the same time. I'd rather give that to someone whose full-time job is being a teacher instead, you know? Anyway, she got face tattoos, so who knows? These parents think moving at the rate of a child's natural curiosity is a sufficient pace for learning. They are failing to exploit the most plastic years of brain development. These children will forever be behind in life because of their selfish, lazy parents. Interesting. I think you gotta go to school to be a teacher. Well, to be fair, I think in most instances, you have to, like, pass some kind of test in order to qualify as being able to homeschool.
So we don't teach our children anything.
It's a pretty good intro.
Everything that they learn is in response to either their interests or their questions. We have no curriculum, we have no school hours. We really just respond whenever they want to know something and do our best to make sure they really get it.
So you're talking about being a parent. That's called being a parent. And then the schooling part usually entails the child then going to school and getting a more pointed education. Like, this isn't anything new. Like, being a parent is precisely what she's describing. But she's trying to have that also be the schooling the child receives, and that's the problem. You know?
And my big fear about free schooling was that if my kids only went towards what they were interested in, saving all of their real estate only for things they're interested in, not cramming it with anything necessary, I was concerned that they would never be interested in things like reading and writing and math. My son's 6, and it took some patience and not comparing myself to other moms, but this is his book. Look at this. Lamp, egg, jar.
Bro, this kid sucks at writing, dude.
Lion. This is him doing this by himself.
Looks like shit.
Copying down words from other places, asking us more. Same with addition. Mom, what's 7 plus 5? It will come at the right time.
Bro, she didn't give an answer because she can't do that quick. Calling it.
But if you do not like this idea of sending your kids away for 40 hours a week and then wondering why they have no energy to do anything else, if you are not into your kids conforming.
Huh? So we were already off the deep end, but now we've gotten into some, like, CPS needs to be looking into your shit kind of territory. And I don't say that lightly. What the hell are you talking about?
It will come at the right time. But if you do not like this idea of sending your kids away for 40 hours a week and
of sending your kids away from 40 hours a week. So your kid has to be around you at literally all times? Because, like, the safety of a public school is not enough for you or something? So, like, your kid just doesn't get any individuality whatsoever? Which is usually gained by, like, not literally being shackled to your parents and, like, being able to go to school and not have your parent there, you know? So that you can, under the supervision of other adults whose job it is to not only teach these kids, but, like, make sure everything is copacetic, where they get a meal, they can socialize with other people of their age, all this kind of shit. You know, like, is that really so bad? What the hell? Like, sending your kids away for 40 hours a week. Eh. Like, you are aware that your kids live in your house, right? Like, I'm pretty sure that's the case here. Like, you do know that your kid lives with you, right? So, like, you're gonna be able to spend time with them. And the fact that they're going to a public school to get an education and make friends with people their own age and not, like, be on a leash from their parents their entire early life, like, that is crazy. And then we get the next part.
40 hours a week and then wondering why they have no energy to do anything else. If you are not into your kids conforming,
Really buried the lead on that one. If you're not into your kids conforming to what, pray tell? The curriculum of you always being attached to your child and giving them no individuality whatsoever, which once again is often gained by a kid going to school and not being attached to their parents because their parents don't often go to school with them. And then they make a bunch of friends with people their own age and are supervised by adults whose job it is to teach them and keep them safe and teach them like a broad curriculum of a variety of interests so that maybe the kid latches onto one of them and goes on to like go to college afterward for a specific thing that they learned about earlier on in their life. Like they got really interested in math when they were younger. And then eventually, because of that, they become like an engineer that builds the next Large Hadron Collider. Whereas like if they were just homeschooled, like who in the fuck knows where they would end up, like with this limited ass curriculum of literally whatever they want. Like you're not really talking about homeschooling at this point. This isn't homeschooling. Like at this point, I feel like this is a psyop to make homeschooling look worse, which frankly I'm in favor of because I am very anti-homeschool. Because like this is actually insane. Like this isn't home. You're not schooling. You're just having your kid at home. You know. Like we started off with so like what I do is that when my kid has a question, I answer it and I help them learn about it. Like, yeah, you're describing being a parent. The thing is, that's not only what happens at public school. Now, you can ask questions as a kid to your teacher about shit that's not relevant to the curricula, and they'll probably get an answer for it. You know, that still happens, but they'll also learn about some shit that they may not otherwise learn about. Maybe some of it's not useful, maybe some of it is. Like, you can make arguments about, like, how you would want to change the curriculum in the school or whatever, but, like, this is not it. This is indoctrination? Well, that's the majority of the reason why people homeschool, I'm pretty sure. I feel like the majority of the reason why people homeschool their kids is A, because they want to indoctrinate their kids into their own worldview. That is usually going to be conservative because the standard curriculum for public schools is usually more progressive, i.e. correct. And if you don't want them exposed to like alternative ideas that might help them break free of your indoctrination circle, you just keep them at home and homeschool them. Which is why every single time you see like dumbasses like Chaya Right Chick Lives a TikTok posting a line about, oh my god, there's a pride flag flying in the classroom. Every single fucking dumbass blue check in the comments that should never have children is like, this is why I'll homeschool my kids. And it's like, yeah, it's because you want to indoctrinate them. Because you don't want your kid to see the real world and understand that like queer people exist and it's not hurting nobody, you know? Or like there are people that aren't like you that exist and that's fine so long as they're not hurting anybody or themselves, you know? The other option is like being super paranoid about your child. Like you live in the suburbs and you have like a kitted out SUV and you wear like a riot shield helmet and other gear while driving to go grocery shopping in your fucking suburb that nothing happens in. Like that's the other option is like you're super paranoid about your child getting in the harm's way. So like you're gonna homeschool them, but like that's not a good reason to homeschool. And I think you should not be allowed to if that is your reason for it. Like, I just do not believe that the majority of parents, much less the majority of parents that do homeschooling, have the qualifications to, like, actually give that kid a good life. And for that reason, like, if homeschooling is going to exist, there has to be a lot of regulation around it, a lot more than there is. Damn, turns out there's zero regulations on starting homeschooling in my state. Yeah, right-wingers, Republicans, a lot of red states, tried their hardest to deregulate anything regarding homeschooling. Because oftentimes, like, there's going to be a lot of regulations on homeschooling for a variety of reasons. The incentive by the state is often, like, we want this kid to be able to be a good worker in the future, so they're going to need to know, like, basic arithmetic and shit, and we don't need you, like, not teaching them literally anything, because then they're not going to be able to produce enough money to supplement the nation's GDP. But, like, aside from that, there's also, like, the moral reason of, like, kids should be around other kids, you know, and make friends with their own age and like socialize and also maybe learn about things that they don't want to otherwise because it could still be enriching to their life and they might even turn out to like some of the things that they wouldn't expect and they end up going on to become like the next Einstein or some shit. But a lot of right-wingers, a lot of Republicans will push for deregulating homeschooling, essentially so that they can try to stop the fact that the tide goes in and out, and that the younger generations are becoming more and more progressive, i.e. less bigoted as time goes on, and they don't like that. So they're going to try to indoctrinate their kid into bigotry and a fucked up worldview and make them antisocial because their parents are scared of change and people that are different from them.
Trust that you can follow their interests and they will learn everything they need to learn, not what other.
What if I told you that you could do both, actually? Like, you could do both? Like, they can learn, like, a standard curriculum and also follow their interests? And frankly, like, even if, like, it was the case that your kid was, like, a savant at math, but they did not give a fuck about history class, and they end up, like, not getting a good grade in history, but they, like, pop off in math, like, I feel like that's a fair trade-off. If, like, they don't care to learn about all this other shit. I think they should still be exposed to the ideas in the history class. But, like, if it's not their core interest and, like, those grades don't do as well, but, like, their math or their social studies shit, or I guess in this case, history and social studies overlap depending on what grade we're talking about. Well, like, social sciences. Like, if those pop off and the other ones fall behind, like, it is what it is. I don't give a shit. I don't understand. How's a kid going to develop interest when they're not exposed to anything? I don't know. Who's to say? It is crazy that she's got face tats. She is not the archetypical homeschooler, but she's probably like a born-again Christian, like Crystal mom, who's anti-vax, you know? That's probably what we're dealing with here. I'm just, this inferences from observations I'm making.
You're welcome.
Damn, she really thought she did something at the end there. When they hit you with the white woman stare. Ay, ay, ay. There's also something to be said about simply rejecting things because you're not interested in them. I don't mean to be all Jocko, but a little bit of self-discipline can actually make your life a bit better. It's another skill. Yeah, for sure. Doing things that you don't want to do, learning how to do that, usually pretty useful because there's going to be a lot of shit in your life you don't want to do, but it's probably good that you do it. You know, like doing the dishes or bathing regularly for your hygiene, stuff like that. And, like, especially if you have, like, dependents, you know? Like, I'm sure a lot of parents would rather not have to be a parent for a day. But, like, you don't really get that option. So, like, you got to learn how to be good at doing the shit you don't want to do, i.e. dealing with your kids screaming all day because they're 2 years old, you know? Pretty sure the forehead tattoo says gentleman. So is a TF2 fan, is what I'm hearing. A spy main. Is it gentleman? It's kind of insane if so. Not sure why you would get the word gentleman in script on your forehead. It kind of does look like that, though. Gentlem, maybe? Gentle, what else could it be? It's like all one word, but like it could be stylization. Let's see. Let's investigate. Gentleness? Oh, it is gentleness. No, we're good. It's still fucking weird, but I get it, at least. It's not gentle, it's gentleness. God, when she really hits you with that fluoride stare, holy shit. When she hits you with that anti-vax stare, god damn. I'm looking into the windows of her soul and they're boarded up. I can save her? Bro, she's not even that cute. Chill. Weird ass. It's just a white woman, bro. Relax. That's crazy, dude. I fucking hate homeschooling, dude. If I learn that somebody homeschools their children, I'm immediately looking at you sideways. Like, I'm immediately suspect of you. What if kids are bullied at school? Try to stop the bullying? The fuck? Or the school is not very good? Listen. You can, point at all the potential externalities and, like, rare instances of things. I'm sure there's a way to address it. But in a general sense, public school could be a lot better, and I think we should focus on making it as good as it could be, you know? I didn't have a great school life. I was an outcast. Now I'm a Twitch streamer, so maybe you have a point. What if they're violently bullied and the school is just bad and the homeschooler is a mature genius? Yeah, and then the moon fell into Lake Washington and aliens came to the earth and destroyed all the public schools? What then? Would you be in favor of homeschooling then? What if Hitler rose from the grave and it mandated everybody do homeschooling and all public schooling was now illegal or else you'd be killed? Would you then be in favor of homeschooling? Shut the fuck up. So true, Seymour. Listen, here's the scenario, Agent 41. Your target, Adolf Hitler. But this is a bit of a different case. Pay attention. The only way you can stop him from killing thousands of people is by saying a racial slur as loud as you possibly can. That's what you sound like. Stupid. Now, it's 47, not 41. Agent 47's white as a fucking golf ball. Alright? Ancient 69. Anyway.